Hey everyone, Regnilla here with another Monster Hunter Freedom Unite video. We are continuing on with the Monster Showcase featuring like one of the worst monsters you could possibly go up against. And today we're doing Rajang. Like, oh my god, this is one of those monsters that I never enjoy fighting, no matter how many times I fight him. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And it took me forever to do. It was a brutal fight, and I'm so stressed out from it that I have a glass of wine right next to me as I'm doing this commentary. So I'm just, holy crap. So, what is a Rajang? It is a fanged beast, according to the wiki, and it is related to the Blaganga. Now, at this point, you should have faced the Blaganga before. It's a really fast, ape-like monster. So, the Rajang is like that, only at least 10 times worse. Like, holy crap. It is not a fun monster to go up against. It's, ugh. And, for this particular quest, we're doing it in the volcano, as you can plainly see here. So, cool drinks are a must. And if you forget cool drinks, you're basically done, because you're going to be burning through a lot of health anyway. And this is the reason why. This thing in the background right here that's hanging out in lava, not giving a damn. So we got a big monkey thing. And you know, it's kind of a fun fact with Rajang is not only can he avoid pitfall traps like that when he's not in rage mode, but his gait as he is right now is very reminiscent of a bull. And as I'm just looking up information to go over on the wiki, I just kind of made note of that. Like, his tail, it kind of looks like a bull's tail. And then I took a closer look, and as he's on all fours, he kind of looks like a bull. So, and just like any normal bull, he's very angry and just completely testosterone filled, and he will mow you over if you're not prepared. This is a monster that look at this right here. Just punches you right into the sky. It is horrendously powerful. And again, this is a high rank quest, and I'm wearing G rank armor, and he's still doing big chunks of damage to my character. And he can attack up close and at a range, and when he goes into rage mode, he goes full on Super Saiyan. And that's not just a joke. That's there are several features about the Rajang that are highly reminiscent of Saiyans from the Dragon Ball series. And or actually, I think it's technically Dragon Ball Z series, because that's when the whole Saiyan thing actually was a thing. That's something for all you nerds out there. But so in addition to going full on Super Saiyan, if you have an ice-based weapon, and if you manage to break the tail, which is one of technically 3 breaks on a Rajang, so if you can break the tail with an ice-based weapon, then he will no longer be able to go into rage mode. And that just works on your standard Rajang. There are variations of Rajangs out there, and I was already getting a headache just trying to navigate the wiki to find that information, so I'm not even gonna bother with that bit. But when he's in rage mode, he's vulnerable to pitfall traps. Unfortunately, my luck was not good at all, so none of my pitfall traps worked, and it just made me mad. It made me super, super mad. So going into some of the things, so the little notes that they have on the wiki here, and it's always nice being able to read this stuff, because you get a sense of these little details that can change your perception during a fight, a lot of times for the better. Like in this case, see, you can see him firing out a lot of electric based attacks. And the first note on here says, sometimes it will blast out a lightning ball instead of a beam, after which it recovers much faster than the lightning wave. Hunters should always take note of which blast it's using. Well, how do you tell what blast it's going to use? And according to here, it's saying that before doing the beam, it will make a whistling sound. It does not whistle when using the lightning ball. So, audio cues, great. And the next note is that in order to break the Rajang's horn and get it as a reward in the box, or excuse me, in order to get the Rajang horn in general, just in the reward box, the player has to break both horns. So that's going into the the 3 breaks that I mentioned earlier. So in addition to the tail break, you can also break the horn twice. And speaking of which, when this monster goes into rage mode, that's when kind of all hell breaks loose. Like, already this guy is one of the strongest monsters ever. In later games, he literally will tear out chunks from the ground and throw them at you. That's how strong this monster is. But I lost my train of thought. But okay, yeah, so this monster is just super brutal, super scary, and when he goes into rage mode, it just gets even more insane. So you want to stock up on flash bombs. They will be immensely helpful. And you know, I say this with a lot of monsters, especially when they get stronger and stronger and stronger. But with Rajang, that's basically a requirement for this monster. Like, holy crap! And that is primarily for breathing room. As you can see right here, the Rajang is just going nuts even when he's stunned. So it's best that when he goes into rage mode, open up with a flash bomb to do 2 things. A, recover some health, sharpen your weapon, and do whatever you need to do in order to keep yourself in fighting shape. And the other reason is to run out the timer on his rage mode, because you don't want to get hit by this monster when he's in rage mode. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And as a matter of fact, going back to the Dragon Ball illusions for the Rajang, he also has another attack. I believe it's in the Frontier games, which is the PC only. He will use an electric ball attack that's very similar to the Spirit Bomb. So if you thought that this monster couldn't get any more ridiculous, this guy can use a freaking electric Spirit Bomb. It's nuts. And he also borrows a couple of attacks from other monsters, like with the Blaganga. He can jump backwards, which if you get hit by that, it's going to knock you around and it's going to do some damage. So that sucks. He can also do a 360 spin, similar to a Tigrex, which I think that's one of the worst attacks I can think of from the Tigrex. And that's saying something, because that guy hits like a freaking freight train. And speaking of freight trains, you know, those punches. And the Rajang has a roar that it likes to do a lot, which requires earplugs to block, but if you get hit by it, then you get sent flying. So that's something else to keep in mind. But thankfully, it won't do any damage to you. So it's just a concussive force that sends you backwards. It's not like the Tigrex roar, which is so powerful it will make it so you take some damage too. So Jesus, this guy again, he's nuts. He's just absolutely nuts. And obviously his weakness, as I mentioned earlier, in order to break off that tail, you need an ice-based weapon. This guy's weakness is ice, and ironically, you can find him in the Snowy Mountains. So this guy has like a death wish or something like that. He's a monster of many contradictions. Going into the armor for this monster, going first into the high rank version, which is the golden armor, you're going to be looking at an initial defense of 275, and if you upgrade everything, then you're going to be looking at a total defense of 396. And going into your resistances, this is why the Rajang is one of the best monsters for armor, so long as, well, you can survive it. So with fire resistance, you're looking at 15 points of resistance. Water resistance is 10. Thunder is going to be 20. Ice resistance, your one major weakness, is going to be -10. And your dragon resistance is going to be 15. That's insane. Those are some hardcore resistances right there. And let's see, your total slots are going to be 4, so you don't really have a whole lot of additional skills to work with, which I don't think that matters too much. But as for your skills, your sneak skill is going to be really low. It's going to be -10. So what this does is it gives you the ability Taunt, and what Taunt does is it makes it so monsters are more likely to target you. So if you're up against a hard monster and you have your feline comrade with you, or Palico if you want to be dumb about it, because I don't know why I never liked the term Palico, it just sounds stupid. But if you have your feline comrade with you, or if you're in a group and you have the Taunt ability, then you're more likely to be targeted by large monsters. And next up, the next skill here is a super good one. It is sharpness +1, which that extends your sharpness meter to a point that where you could even, let's say in this case, oh, he's dead already. Okay. In this case, I have blue sharpness. In some cases, that blue sharpness could become white sharpness with this skill. And potential, which I forgot what skill that was. Okay, what I believe, okay, it's adrenaline +2, which increases your attack and defense if you're below 40% health. And let's see, flute expert for the horn +10 skills, which makes it so your horns are less likely to break. And I don't have a whole lot of time to go into the final armor set for the G rank, but defenses 405, 555 if you max it out. And where are these skills? So focus, which increases your ability to charge attacks, so it makes that faster. Dragon resistance +5 in case you needed an even more broken resistance system. Sharpness +1 and taunt, which you can gem out with the 10 slots the G rank version has. Holy crap. But anyways, that's going to do it for me and this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see any of my other content, feel free to hit on one of those annotations that'll be featured at the end of this video. Or if you want to support the channel, subscribing is of course a big help. But until next time, take care, people.